Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm challenging myself to a 45-minute photography challenge. I've got some time to wait for an appointment, so I'm going to walk around. It's an inner city area and I'm walking around capturing some wall textures with my iPhone. They're for a very specific reason. Using these images, I'm looking for images that I can use for backgrounds in either social media posts, indeed as a YouTube thumbnail for this one, slides, etc. What I've got today with me is the iPhone 13 Pro. Clock is ticking. So let's get started and see what creative textures we can get, what we can find. The reason why I'm looking for wall textures is that they're super versatile. Whether you're creating social media posts or graphics, say in Canva, or presentation slides in Google Drive, Google presentations, anything like that, or YouTube thumbnails. Wall textures make a perfect background. They're minimal, easy on the eyes, and help the text or the design element potentially stand out. The idea is to look for a variety of different walls, brick walls, looking for different backgrounds. They're painted, plain brick. These give a range of different textures to choose from, different styles to work with, depending on the type of design that I'm wanting to create. All right, so first up, we've got this brick wall. And it's really nice. It's got beautiful texture, but it also has some very strong shadow of power lines. So it's a bit different, this one. Check out how strong these shadows from the power lines are. Now, at first glance, you might think that they're distracting, but we could actually use this to be a really interesting shot depending on how we want to use it. I do photography courses, and as an example, it's a great example of the leading lines coming into an image. Leading lines are things that naturally guide the viewer's eye through the image, the lines that create your eye to move through the image. But in terms of design, these power lines could be used in a couple of different ways. First of all, it shows exactly how a clean surface can be interrupted by these distractions, and you are looking for things don't include these lines. It's a very clear example. On the flip side, where you can use these strong lines, I could use these lines creatively. Maybe I could be dividing the section of the text in the slide by using these lines that are actually in the image. I could have different text on either side of the lines. See how I'm using the lines to make very clear sections, and they're already there for me. So again, it's certainly something to keep your eyes open for. So yes, they can be distracting and you don't want that. Alternatively, you're now using them as dividers, these strong lines. So I encourage you to experiment with the leading lines. If you're creating images of walls for your own use, I encourage you to keep your eyes open for such leading lines. And it could be in strong brickwork, could be a crack in the wall that can also create very strong lines. Certainly something to keep your eyes open for. Sometimes problematic, other times it's exactly what's perfect for putting appropriate text. Okay, this is interesting. We've got very strong green. Certainly it's not a plain texture. It's a very busy texture in many respects, but could still work really well with some text on it, I'm sure. So let's get some shots and have a look. I'm loving the green against the wall. Absolutely fantastic, and offers a very different feel. And the juxtaposition gives you space. One thing to keep in mind in this example where I'm using these backgrounds for social media posts or inside presentations, that sort of thing, there's a lot of flexibility to crop the image. If we were after a very large print or something, we would have to be very mindful from the technical side, that the amount of pixels, because I'm using these images for very small imagery, such as the background in social media posts, etc., I have plenty of scope of which to crop the original image and which then can create more multiple images. And this is an example where you can crop right in on the leaves, or we can crop in more on the brick wall, and we can create very different ones, all from the same photograph. And once you've got a few photographs taken from one particular wall, you can create many different original images simply by cropping. So whether it was one straight message or whether we're trying to create two different statements on the one image, there's space for text either way. Can work really well. Now, this is another great opportunity, and I'll go through some of these shots that I've captured here. Notice the flexibility of this scene where we can have it for any particular thing, whether it's simply a bold statement, whether it was a quote card, whether it's instructions. We can even put arrows and all sorts of things and use it to catch the eye. So this has got very, very flexible. Mention cropping, but another thing you can do, and perhaps I'll make a separate YouTube video for this, let me know in the comments if you'd like it, but simply doing, not only can you crop an image to make it look different, but you can also do filter overlays to alter the color, alter the contrast, that sort of thing, which makes the image look very different, and it makes it another original image as well. See how effective these can be. And what a different feel, the different textures of the different walls and the different lights. This one's much more in shade. This also has an effect that keeps it much more, it's a flatter look, which can work really well for some things. And for other shots, that extra color saturation because of the better, more vibrant light, that adds to the image. But you see how they all have their place. By doing something like this, it's amazing. I mean, I could be using these images many times over through cropping, through putting a filter over it, colored, etc., and making it fit with different things. Really fantastic. And they're your own original images. It's your own stock file, if you like. So here's a couple more. We've got the corrugated iron texture, got the plain brick with the peeling paint. That also is classic, that can work really well. And on this occasion, this is actually a door. There's lots of already made frames, and by capturing these photographs, whether it's doors, walls, whatever, that you can then start to put in your own type in different areas, and it can segregate it. And as I say, in this case, you could make a list in either part of the door or anything like that. So in just 45 minutes, I've managed to get a variety of wall textures using just my iPhone. The goal was to find backgrounds that I can use for my design projects, like social media posts or included in my online courses. And notice how the different textures can have their different uses. Now, in this one walk, I found a few different textures, but still not the full gamut. So I could be looking for other types of textures on a different walk. You don't have to stop with just the one 45-minute walk. You could go and do another one another day and collect quite a library quite fast of these amazing background photographs for your various posts. Whether you're using them for quotes, promotional material, Instagram posts, it's endless, really. Indeed, YouTube thumbnails. What I love about this challenge is how quickly I was able to gather a variety of useful images in a very short amount of time. So didn't need fancy equipment, just needed the phone and a bit of creativity and an eye for textures. And not only this one's been a fun photography challenge because it's been, yes, out capturing the photographs in itself, but also with a specific use as the background, which is also fun as well. So I invite you to take the challenge yourself. If you've got some spare time where you're waiting, like in my case, I was waiting to go to an appointment, so you can use that time, grab your phone, grab your camera, and challenge yourself. See what you can find just around your own neighborhood. If you'd like to see different videos from me, don't hesitate to suggest in the comments. If you'd like to see the video where perhaps I use some filters on these same photographs to make them look different again, do leave a comment. And thanks very much for watching.